Hey everybody, and welcome to the forecast. Today I'm going to be talking about Chiron. Chiron is right now in the sign of Pisces. So with all this big Pisces energy going on, I feel that it's important to talk about Chiron right now because Chiron's been in the sign of Pisces since 2010 and it's going to be in Pisces until 2019. And so as all these other planets and bodies are passing over Chiron, they're really activating its energy, and Chiron is really like passing its lessons off to each of these planets as they flow by. So Chiron is a very important energy in our lives to understand because it's the proverbial shooting yourself in the foot. Where Chiron comes from, the name Chiron comes from Greek mythology. Chiron was a centaur. Now, who was very wise and very brilliant and ended up teaching many of the Greek heroes like Jason and Heracles and many others. But he brought medicine to the people. He was known as a healer. He brought philosophy. He was a teacher of astrology. He knew all of the mystic ways and sciences, and was a teacher and a medicine shaman to the people. But the thing about centaurs in Greek mythology is that centaurs were savage beasts. They raped and pillaged and were just really bonkers. They were crazy violent. And so for Chiron, Chiron just became enlightened one day, and he's the only centaur within the mythologies to do so. And I think that's a very, very important symbol. And now Chiron is also known as the wounded healer, because where that myth comes from is that it was within the trials of Heracles, or Hercules, depending on if you're Roman or Greek, that a bunch of centaurs were attacking him. And so Heracles went to Chiron and said, "I need your help." And Chiron said, okay, well, tell you what, I'll make you this poison that you dip your arrows in, and that will defeat the centaurs. And so he does so, and Heracles just starts blasting away at all the centaurs with his crazy poison arrows. And in the chaos, Heracles accidentally shoots Chiron. And so Chiron becomes infected with this poison, but he's a god, he's of these divine spirits, so he's immortal. But he becomes sick from his own poison because he designed the poison to destroy centaurs. And so he becomes eternally sick, and he can't heal himself. Because he created the poison, he can't find the means to heal his own wound. The point of the story is that Chiron is the wounded healer. Now, Chiron represents that part of ourselves that shoots ourselves in the foot. Chiron represents the great wisdom and intelligence and inherent faculty to succeed, the ability to work with our environment, because the thing about Chiron and his nature as a shaman and the shaman's role within our culture, or human culture, is to unite yourself with the forces of nature, to realize that you are so inherently one with the world you live in, that all of your answers lie within the myriad of life forms that exist here on this planet. For an example, if you get bitten by a poisonous snake, the antidote for the venom is made from the snake's own poison. Vaccines and like flu shots and things like that to prevent illnesses, what that is that chemists derive a very, very faint, subtle version of the virus, of the flu virus, or of the whatever they're trying to prevent. They create a very subtle version of the virus and inject that into your system so that your white blood cells become familiar with that thing. It's not enough to make you sick, or so they say, but enough to become familiar with that thing to defend against it if it should ever enter your system. So in the same fashion, it's the shaman's job in our culture to to find the ways to unite with nature so that we can work with the natural forces to overcome our own illnesses or imbalances, whatever they may be. So that was Chiron's role, and that's what we all have the ability to do in our lifetimes. We all have the ability to work with our environment and find the solutions to whatever challenge or problem we may be facing. So, but when his own poison hits him, he can't heal it. Why is this so? Why can't he, if he can make the poison, why can't he heal himself? I'm gonna diverge a little bit to talk about healing in general. And in Pisces, that's a very important theme. If you're familiar at all with Chinese medicine, the Chinese system of medicine and healing is founded upon qi energy, the essential life force that dwells within the body. And what Chinese medicine understands is that if you fix the system of how this energy flows through your body, the energy will heal the body itself. You don't have to go in and cut things apart and break things, and you can't suppress the body's sensations of pain or the body's natural processes. You can't use chemicals to suppress that thing. You have to allow the body's natural intelligence to heal itself. So Chinese medicine is all about aligning the energy grids within your physical body and using herbs and things from the earth that correspond to the different energies present within the body to create a balanced system. And it's wildly effective. If you've ever had acupuncture or gone or like experienced what some of these extreme herbal tonics can do for you, it's really intense, So I recommend doing some research into that. But so basically, back to Chiron here. Why can't Chiron heal his own wound? Why can't he simply find the method by which he can align his own energy systems and heal this wound? Well, I personally believe that it's because there is a resistance to healing. And that's weird. Why would anybody say, well, why would we resist healing? Well, it all dwells within the nature of your mind and how you perceive the world. I think it's a very important symbol within the myth that Chiron was creating a poison to kill his own kind, to kill centaurs. He's a centaur, and he's creating a poison to give to this like crazy person Heracles who's hell-bent on destruction, a poison to kill his own kind. Now, the centaur, albeit, is a very savage creature, but Chiron is a centaur, and he's not a savage creature. He's enlightened, and that's the symbol of the centaur. It's half a person and half a horse. It's half man, half animal. And so in a very important sense, the centaur is the symbol of the human being, as we are both this cognizant, rationally thinking, intelligent, speaking being, but we are also an animal. We are also a part of the physical earth. We have instincts. We have carnal desire. We have sometimes violent tendencies. We have emotions we don't quite understand all the time. And so that's a duality. That's how this exists and this exists, but they seem to be opposite things. They seem and I can't make head or tail of which side to be on. That's duality. That's separatist kind of thinking. And that's the nature of Chiron's wound, is that Chiron was separating himself. He was seeing a separation between the part of him that was man and enlightened, and then the part of him that was beast and savage and carnal. And so he made a poison to destroy himself, because he was inherently at war. His own identity was within duality. You cannot exist as a separate thing. Nothing in this universe exists as duality. And the only reason that anything's ever going wrong on this planet is because we are all looking at the world in this dualistic consciousness of I am a human. No, I am an animal. I am a human. I am an animal. I am a human. I am an animal. And so as Chiron is in Pisces, and as all of these other planets are in Pisces right now, we're all needing to dissolve away that duality consciousness that we're existing in. So we all have that in some fashion, you know, between, you know, like what our families want and what we want. It's separate things. Or what I want and what my government wants, or what the corporations want. It's separate things. Or what I want and that my partner wants. It's separate. My children, it's separate. You know, so we all engage in this kind of fight or flight, you know, us and them mentality. And that is what is causing the problems. That is what is causing decay and it's releasing the entropy within our world. It's seeing it as separate. By acknowledging oneness, by removing the veil of separateness, you engage in an energy flow between you and your environment that feeds and charges it. It keeps it together. It energizes your body and your mind and your spirit and your environment and your whole reality. And that's a very important thing that we're all needing to come to understand right now. So with Chiron and Pisces, you know, ask yourself, where is it that I find this kind of separatist thinking in my mind? Do I see myself at odds or at war with you know, my society or my family or myself? You know, it all really boils down to the self. It all really boils down to what duality are you seeing within yourself? What different sides of your own psyche and character and emotions are at war with themselves? You know, where you have this desire, but then you have this thought that cancels that desire, but then you have this desire, and you don't know whether that desire is true or not, and so it really all boils down to the self. And so with Chiron, we're learning how to heal that self. We're learning how to heal that wound. So I, you know, just in your own time, in your reflecting and in your journaling and in the processing of your feelings, really understand that the answer to any solution lies in the problem. And so if Chiron were to figure out, oh, wait a minute, I created this poison to separate myself, to kill a part of myself. You know what? My animal self is just as much a part of me as this higher consciousness is. They are one thing. We exist within these physical bodies because it is an evolved form for consciousness to do so. You know, it's a cutting edge. We wouldn't be here. Nature isn't superfluous. The human species wouldn't be here if it wasn't serving some purpose, if we weren't doing something very important. If it was otherwise, we would already be extinct. If we weren't serving some kind of evolutionary function for ourselves and for the planet. And so that's the message of Chiron in Pisces. All right, everybody, I'll see you around. Sorry for talking to you. Aloha.